They said she's not worth a dime until he paid millions to protect her name. Yoongi had never asked for much in life. She grew up believing that her worth was measured by obedience, that her voice was secondary to the whims of others, and that ambition, if not discreet, was dangerous. Her family had always been loud, commanding, and critical, each word a reminder that she was never enough, while her siblings were praised for the smallest accomplishments. Yoongi was often told that she was clumsy, impractical, or not worth a dime. The sting of those words lingered, not just because they were cruel, but because they were repeated so often that she had begun to believe them herself. Her home had always been a battlefield of ego and expectations. Her father, a man of wealth and rigid principles, considered ambition a threat if it was not his own. Her mother, elegant but distant, valued appearances above sincerity and rarely intervened when Yoongi was belittled. Her older brother, Dahayan, and sister, Miset, treated her with a combination of mockery and indifference, as if she were merely a placeholder for their own triumphs. By the time Yoongi was 21, she had mastered the art of fading into the background, speaking only when spoken to, and smiling through humiliation so that no one could accuse her of being dramatic. It was during an important family business gala that her world fractured completely. The event was held in one of Seoul's grandest hotels, the kind where the chandeliers sparkled like captured stars and the floors were polished to a mere light shine. Her family had invited investors, distant relatives, and socialites, each eager to display their influence on sophistication. Yoongi attended reluctantly, knowing that any attention would likely be negative. Her dress was modest yet refined, a reflection of her taste, not the loud extravagance her family demanded. She hoped, naively, to remain invisible. But invisibility was a luxury Yoongi could not afford. As the event progressed, her family began to speak in whispers just loud enough for others to hear, mocking her modest contributions to the family business, belittling her intelligence, and openly declaring that she was not worth a dime. Laughter punctuated their cruelty, each word landing like a stone against her chest. Yoongi's cheeks burned, her hands clenched tightly in her lap. But she did not cry, did not speak, did not betray the storm inside her. She had learned to contain her pain, to live quietly with the humiliation, and to endure. No one, not even the guests, could intervene. Her parents smiled apologetically, their eyes darting nervously, but they did nothing to stop the verbal assault. It was her uncle who leaned in, whispering with a cruel smirk, "You'll never amount to anything, Yoongi. You're worthless." The words, soft but precise, cut deeper than any public condemnation could. She wanted to flee, to vanish from the hall, but she remained seated, stiff as a statue, praying the evening would end. Then, the unexpected happened. The main entrance doors opened with a soft but commanding click, and the room's attention shifted immediately. A man entered, the kind of presence that could silence a room without a single word. His name was Min Jae, a billionaire whose wealth and influence were whispered about in exclusive circles, known for his discretion and meticulous nature. His eyes scanned the hall, and when they fell on Yoongi, the cold intensity melted into warmth, recognition, and unwavering focus. He walked directly toward her, and with him came an entourage discreetly carrying cameras, microphones, and recording equipment, silent witnesses, ready to capture every moment. The murmurs in the room grew. Curiosity mingled with unease, as the family realized that the girl they had belittled was no longer powerless. Min Jae approached Yoongi, his expression calm but commanding, and whispered gently, "This ends now." The uncle, still brimming with misplaced authority, attempted to assert himself. "Who invited you here?" This is our family's event. Oh, Bart. Min-jae's gaze, unwavering and sharp, met his, and the room seemed to contract under the weight of his presence. "This is not a debate," he said evenly. "This is her name, her dignity, and her life. Everything spoken against her tonight is recorded and observed. She will be protected, not humiliated." Yoongi felt a strange mixture of relief and disbelief. For years, she had suffered in silence, endured insults, and accepted her family's verdict of worthlessness. And now, at the precise moment she felt most powerless, someone had arrived not to rescue her in the traditional sense, but to ensure that the world and her family could no longer deny her value. Min-jae's intervention was quiet, elegant, and devastatingly effective. The cameras captured every sneer, every cruel whisper, every dismissive glance her uncle and siblings had cast her way. The recordings were subtle, unobtrusive, yet they carried undeniable proof of the family's treatment. Yoongi's parents attempted to apologize, to smooth over the tension, but the damage was not only visible, it was permanent. The truth, documented and undeniable, was now in the hands of someone who valued her above all else. In the weeks that followed, Min-jae did more than simply shield Yoongi from public embarrassment. He began investing in her future, supporting her ambitions with resources she had never imagined. He bought her own studio, provided contacts and mentorship, and ensured that every project she touched gained credibility in the wider market. Every contract she signed, every exhibition she prepared, every opportunity she received was supported by his quiet, unwavering influence. Her family's words, once a shadow over her life, now rang hollow in the face of undeniable success. The uncle who had struck her with verbal cruelty found himself powerless as she rose, gaining recognition, respect, and influence in her own right. Even the siblings who had mocked her had to confront the reality that the girl they had demeaned was no longer dependent on their approval or recognition. She had built a life that could not be threatened, a career that could not be diminished, and a personal dignity that could not be denied. But the real transformation was not merely in her career or her public standing. Yoongi felt a change in herself that went deeper than accolades or success. She learned to trust again, to embrace love without fear, and to recognize that her worth had never been contingent on her family's judgment. Min-jae's presence was not simply a shield. It was a mirror reflecting her own strength, her own capacity for resilience, and her right to claim happiness on her own terms. There were moments when the family tried to interfere, small manipulations, subtle attempts to undermine her, casual remarks meant to provoke insecurity. But Min-jae, ever watchful, ensured that every action had consequences, that their attempts at control were met with calm, measured response rather than retaliation. Yoongi found that her power lay not in confrontation, but in the quiet confidence of being valued and protected, in the knowledge that someone she trusted completely would always act in her best interest. The public, upon learning fragments of the story through carefully released accounts, was astounded. Headlines praised Yoongi's talent and her perseverance, while whispers of the family's cruelty spread like wildfire. The uncle's authority diminished, the siblings' pride eroded, and her parents were forced to confront the consequences of a lifetime of dismissiveness and neglect. Yet Yoongi did not seek revenge in the traditional sense. She sought only justice, recognition, and the ability to live freely, without fear of their judgment or interference. In the quiet moments, away from cameras and public attention, Yoongi reflected on the journey she had endured. She remembered the countless nights of silent tears, the small humiliations that had once seemed insurmountable, and the years of believing herself unworthy. And yet, standing beside Min-jae, she felt an unshakable sense of completion. She had been seen, she had been validated, and most importantly, she had been loved in a way that never asked her to prove her value. Together, they built a life that balanced power with tenderness, ambition with respect, and wealth with purpose. Min-jae did not control her. He supported her. He did not overshadow her. He amplified her presence. Every project, every achievement, every moment of joy was a testament to the partnership they had forged not merely through love, but through shared respect and unwavering support. Yoonji realized that true worth had never been measured in the opinions of her family or the cruel words they had thrown at her. It was measured in resilience, in the capacity to rise above betrayal, and in the strength to accept and embrace love without hesitation. The cameras, which had once been a tool of subtle accountability, now served as a reminder of her triumph over humiliation, a symbol of her ability to reclaim dignity, and a quiet monument to the life she had fought to build. Her family, confronted with the undeniable reality of her achievements and the support of a man who valued her above all else, could only watch. They could speak, they could apologize, they could attempt reconciliation, but Yoongi had moved beyond their influence. She had claimed her name, her life, and her happiness. She had found her voice, her strength, and a love that had never wavered, proving that sometimes the world's cruelest voices are drowned out by those who truly see your worth. And in the end, standing together in the soft glow of a city evening, Yoonji and Min-jae knew that nothing could diminish what they had built. Her name was protected, her dignity restored, and their love, patient and unwavering, promised a future where she would never again be measured by the cruelty of others. The world might judge, whisper, and attempt to interfere, but Yoongi had discovered the most profound truth. Worth is not declared by others, it is claimed, defended, and cherished by those who see it clearly. Together, they faced the horizon, hand in hand, heart with heart, and life fully their own. And for the first time in her 24 years, Yoonji understood what it meant to be truly seen, truly loved, and truly unstoppable.